Hello，你好，Welcome back，欢迎回来to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger and
Kitten, one in real life.
Kitten is munching on watermelon, cough drop, weird combination. Um, so today the date is August 7th. What was that?
Nothing.
2024. She's breaking stuff again. Already broke the shower and God knows what else. Knocked an action figure off the ceiling.
He jumped.
I don't know if I mentioned this on video, and it was the first time we got together. And I don't know what was wrong with her. I, I came home and one of my prized action figure went missing. And then I asked her, and she said, "I threw it." And I said, "Where did you throw it?" "I don't know." And then like I looked and looked and looked and looked, like just for you guys' reference, when you're totally blind, looking for something can be very annoying. So anyway, 2 months later, I was just about to go on eBay and buy another one because I like, okay, this thing got missing. Maybe she threw it in the trash or something. But I like, and it's like one of those action figures that are not even being produced anymore. If I bought a second one, it's going to be like $200. Half a year later, I was cleaning the room, dusting behind the TV, and voila, it was behind the TV. How did an action figure went clear across the room and end up behind the TV? I no idea. Poor little action figure. Never did anything to anybody. Anyway, last night when we were having dinner, Kitten and I were talking about some Chinese history, and I was talking about one of the richest people ever lived in Chinese history, uh, and I thought that would actually make a pretty interesting episode because the guy we're going to talk about today, by the name of Shen Wanshan, Shen Wanshan, Shen is his uh, family name, like Sheng. Wan Shan basically translate to 10,000 mountains. Like, tell me if that's not an awesome name. Like, like 10,000 mountain Shen, you know, like that's the kind of name like you hear that and oh wow, this guy is going to be rich or successful or something. Uh, so Shen Wanshan has always been known as one of the richest people throughout Chinese history, and that's really impressive when you consider how filthy rich some Chinese people are, some Chinese people have been, how rich the emperors, the ministers, the magistrates, all the high ranking people were. And this guy is ranking up there. That when you talk about Chinese history and you ask people to list maybe the top 15 richest people in Chinese history, maybe top 10, Shen Wanshan's name is going to come up. That's really, really rich. Okay. Uh, the guy, just to put it in context, the guy was so rich that when the emperor Zhu Yuanzhang wanted to build a new wall for the capital city, the construction was so big that the emperor couldn't afford it. He had to go to Shen Wanshan to borrow money for Shen Wanshan to, and Shen Wanshan single-handedly came up with the money to build the city wall and fixed up the city houses and streets and basically built him a new freaking imperial city. And that's how rich the guy was. Now, in real life, yes, Shen Wanshan was a real person. He lived somewhere around year 1368. Wow, I'm amazed with my memory sometimes. I actually remember that. No, actually, I cheated. I looked it up this morning. So he lived somewhere around 1368. Um, the real Shen Wanshan got rich because he was one of the earliest people in Chinese history to uh, actively put together a fleet of ships and go out to Africa and the Middle East and those crosses ocean across go he would go across the ocean and bring things back to sell to people in China, and he would bring things from China to go and sell them and trade them in Africa and the Middle East and as far as Europe. So he was one of the earliest merchants to, you can say, to do international trading, to actually use a ship to help him get out of the country and go uh, explore and trade. He did not colonize anybody before anyone asked. He just traded. He did not go and explore and say claim people's land. He did it much nicer. What? You got an issue with that? The Amazon Alexa device just went doo doo. Alexa, yeah, never mind. The device is so white sometimes. Alexa, resume. Just messed up my background music. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. And so the real Shen Wanshan made his fortune trading internationally using naval fleets, and he would go out quite often with the Royal Navy when they were patrolling and when they were exploring, and he would have his little fleet of merchant ship uh, mixed in with them so they could protect him, and he would in turn uh, push some money uh, toward the emperor and the navy and all that stuff. So it's like a mutual beneficial relationship. But reality is not as fun as legend. Okay, so today we're going to talk about one of the most widely talked about legends of Shen Wanshan and his wealth. I'm going to tell you the legend of the money growing pot, the money pot. The story goes long time ago, well, as far back as 1368 anyway, uh, before Shen Wanshan became a very rich person when he was just a regular Joe. He was a dock worker. He worked at the shipyard. One day, when Shen Wanshan was sleeping, he dreamed of a bunch of little green men coming and kneeling down before him, asking him to save them. Now, I don't know what the heck, like someone else was dreaming of Martian or aliens or something, but yeah, he was dreaming of little green people coming to him, kneeling down and asking him to save their life. Next day, when Shen Wanshan went to the seaport where he worked, he walked past a pond and he saw a bunch of kids catching frogs. And they were taking frogs from the pond. And he asked the kids, he's like, what are you, why are you guys catching all these frogs? You got like almost 100 frogs here. Like, what are you guys doing? And the kids say, oh, well, our family can't afford food. So that's what we do. We come out here, we catch frogs, and we take them home for meat. And suddenly, Shen Wanshan thought, wait, little green man, green frog, maybe I'm supposed to save these frogs? So he said to the kids, hold on. Um, let me buy these frogs from you guys. You say you don't have money for meat. That's why you're catching these frogs. So what about I give you what all the money I have, and you give me the frogs, and you can go buy beef or pork or whatever, right? And I can have the frogs. And the kids are okay. The kids are that's not bad. We're kind of tired of eating frogs every day. And if you want them, you want to buy them, whatever. So Wan Shan gave these children every last penny he had on his person. Basically went broke buying all the frogs from them, and then he let the frogs go and put them back in the pond and let them go. And he went on his way to work at the seaport, and afterward he barely had any money for food, so he went to bed hungry. That night he heard a weird noise at his door, and he woke up and he went to open the door, and he saw a gigantic frog like the size of a German shepherd sitting in front of his door. And someone was like, what the hell? Like, I saved you guys. What more do you want? Like, you I went to bed hungry because I saved you guys. I spent all my money saving you. And now you're going to wake me up in the middle of the night? Pissed off, Shen Wansan tried to take a kick at the tried to kick the frog, and the frog turned and started hopping away. And Shen Wansan turned and was going to go back into the house. And as he turned, the frog turned back toward him and croaked. Maybe that's what frogs sound like. Anyway, so Shen Wansan thought, what? Like I want to kick you. You want to run away, and now you come back like. And the frog looked at Shen Wansan, looked at the empty street, like it's like the frog saying to him, "Follow me, you dumbass." Shen Wansan put his robe on and said, "Okay, fine, I'll follow you. I mean, it's just a frog. It's a really big frog, but it shouldn't be anything dangerous." So he put his robes on, put his shoes on, and he followed the frog. And the frog led him back to the pond where he saw the kids catching frogs, and the pond where he let the frogs go. Upon getting to the edge of the pond, Shen Wansan saw that there were thousands of frogs just coming out of the pond. Now, I don't know about you guys. One frog is cute. Two frog is okay. Thousands of frog is very creepy, especially like in the middle of the night. Just all these green frogs they're coming out of the pond, and someone was kind of shocked, and he's like, "What is this about? Like, I saved you guys, and now you brought me here, and you showed me this army of frogs. What give? Like, is there something else I'm supposed to do?" The giant frog that led him there took its front paw and pointed at the pond, like down there. And Shen Wansan reached his hand into the water. That's really brave, by the way. If there's like thousands of frogs coming out of the pond, there's no way I would reach my hand in there. But he reached his hand in there, and he found a big clay pot just sitting at the bottom of the pond. And he pulled the clay pot from the bottom of the pond, and he said, "What? That's it? That's it? You woke me up in the middle of the night for a stupid clay pot? It's nothing special. It's not like an antique. It's not like, it's not nothing expensive. It's not valuable. But just as he pulled the clay pot from the pond, all the frogs jumped back into the pond and disappeared. Well, so one son didn't know what to make of it, so he took the pot home with him and figured, the frogs wanted to give me a gift. Well, I'll take it home. So I don't know about the rest of you. Like, have you guys ever have this experience where you maybe someone give you a container, or you buy something and it has a container, like a bucket or a basket or a box. It's and you don't want to throw it away because it's kind of nice, but you don't have anything you want to do. You don't have anywhere for it. You don't have any. So what happened? Like, if you were me, I just like put it on the table and kind of forget about it. So that's basically what Shen Wansan did. He brought the clay pot home, and he set it down on his kitchen counter, and he went to bed. Next morning, Shen Wansan woke up, and his wife asked him, "Hey, what gift? What's with the clay pot? Where did you get this ugly clay pot from?" Someone says, I don't know. Last night uh, there was a frog and led me to the pond, and yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Yeah, I know, but yeah, it really happened. Really happened. I woke up. It was a frog outside the door, and the frog led me to the pond, and I reached into the pond, and there's a clay pot. And the wife was like, "So you went to the pond in the middle of the night? You brought you brought home a clay pot? You're crazy." And someone says, shut up, woman. Like, you know, it's a clay pot from my frog friend. Okay? Have some respect. So the wife said, well, we kind of need a new basin for the bathroom anyway, like for washing our feet and washing our faces and, doing all our hygiene stuff. So why don't we just use this as our new basin? Someone said, well, okay, whatever, it's big enough, and if you think that will work, then let's do it. By the way, that's basically what I do with kitten all the time. Well, whatever, if you want to do it, I'll do it. I'm very smart. I don't argue with kitten. And someone son very smart. Someone son didn't argue with his wife. Mm. So his wife took the pot into the bathroom and replaced the old basin with it. Everything was pretty normal until a few days later. The wife was brushing her hair, and she took her silver hair pick out of her hair, and basically what kitten would do, plop it down in the first place near hand, which was the basin. So she took the hair pick out of her hair and just put it inside the basin so it wouldn't roll away while she was brushing her hair. After she brushed her hair for a few minutes, she looked down and she screamed because rather than her hair pick, the whole basin was full of silver hair picks.
Oh my god.
And she screamed, and then someone son was in the kitchen preparing breakfast, and he came running in like, "What happened? What happened?" And she pointed at the basin, and someone son said, "You fucking bitch! Why did you buy so many hair picks?" She said, "You I didn't buy them. I put my hair pick in there, and a few minutes later, that this happened." And someone said, "No, like what? You think it's magic?" His wife said, it looked like magic to me." Someone said, "Wow, okay, let's test it out. Where's your pearl earring?" So they fished out all the silver hair picks, and they put her pearl earring in there, and true to form, a few minutes later, the basin was full of pearl earring.
Wow.
And from that day on, Shen Wansan quit his job at the seaport, stopped being a dock worker, and they used that clay pot to generate so much wealth that he became the richest person, not only in his town, but in the entire China. Um, the story of his wealth quickly spread, and the emperor Zhu Yuanzhang heard about it. And Zhu Yuanzhang was just at that time. Zhu Yuanzhang was having some difficulty because he just became the emperor. He just finished fighting years of war to become the emperor. So the treasury was really low. They were broke. The country was pretty much broke at that time. So, um, so the emperor Zhu Yuanzhang decided, well, if we want to prevent future invasion from the Mongols, then we need to build stronger wall and stronger cities. But I don't have money for it. And then he heard about Shen Wanshan and his massive wealth. So he went to Shen Wanshan and he said, "Hey, I'm your emperor. I heard that you have a lot of money. I need a lot of money. Do you think you can find it in yourself to be patriotic and maybe lend me some money to build the city wall for the imperial city?" Shen Wanshan was like, "Oh, your majesty, that's that's easy. Like, never mind just the city wall. I'll build you a new imperial city." After the imperial city was built, the the emperor's uncle came to Shen Wanshan and said, Uh, when we were fighting the Mongols, the northern part of China were totally devastated, and we need so much money to rebuild, but we have no money. Do you think you can do something about it? And Shen Wansan was like, "No problem. I'll build you a new northern China." And he built them a new northern China, basically. All the new cities, new roads, everything. Well, herein lies the problem. And I talked about this in Soul Search Sunday before. Sometimes you want to be careful with your generosity because you think that the more generous you are, the more people will be in your debt and they will appreciate you. Sometimes, as funny as human psychology is, it works the opposite. Okay? When someone owes you so much, they start to want to get rid of you because they know that if there's ever come a day that you call in the debt, they will be totally messed up. Okay? If I, you know, if I owe, if I owe my friend George $5, right? If I needed food, and if I needed $5 for food, and George lent me $5, that's no big deal, right? Like for me, I will appreciate George because I'll always remember he lent me $5 for food, and I'll know that one day I'll pay him back the $5, and we'll be even. The account will be balanced. But if I needed $5 and George lend me 50 million bucks, then it might feel good in the beginning, but gradually it's going to start messing with my head because I'm going to think, how am I going to pay him back the 50 million bucks? Like, what if he wait until 20 years from now and he suddenly wants 50 million bucks from me with interest? What am I going to do? Well, that was exactly the problem the emperor had. Okay, after getting Shen Wansan to build him a new imperial city and to build a new northern China, suddenly the emperor said, "Wait a second, this guy is so freaking rich. What if tomorrow he said, 'Hey, Your Majesty, remember how much I put into building the imperial city? And remember I built you a new northern China? Maybe I should be the emperor instead.' What am I going to do? Huh? Like, if he go and tell people, I should be the new emperor because I built you a new country. People's going to say, yeah, that makes sense. Where am I going to be? Oh, that made the Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang very, very nervous. And those of you that studied Ming Dynasty history know that Zhu Yuanzhang was one of the like worst tyrants uh, in Chinese history. Like he killed almost everybody who helped him to become emperor.
Oh my gosh.
You know, because his idea was, if you could help me become emperor, you can also make it so I can't be emperor anymore. Uh, so all the people, all the generals, all the tacticians, all the ministers that helped him, every one of them died.
Oh my god.
So now Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang was thinking, maybe I need to do something about this Shen Wansan. You know, it's I owe him so much money, and you know, if something happened to him, then I wouldn't have to pay him back.
Oi.
And I heard that he has this money pot at home that can grow a lot of treasure.
Mm.
And if I get rid of him, maybe I can get a hold of his treasure. So the emperor went to Shen Wansan and said, you know, I am like, as your emperor, I'm so appreciative of what you did. You done so much for this country. I think we should have a big celebration. Well, I think everyone should be invited to the celebration. Every single soldier, every single government worker, all the high-ranking lords and ladies, prince and princesses, they should be able to meet you and say thank you in person. I think I want to do this uh, in your honor. I want to do this party. But as I didn't even have the money to build a city wall. I had to come to you to borrow the money for the city wall. Do you think you can throw the party? Do you think you can pay for the party? I'll bring all the people, but you can you pay for the party? Someone said, "Ah, no problem. I'll pay for the party. I'll pay for everything. Just make sure all the important people show up. That's fine." Someone son had no idea that he was being set up.
Oi.
Uh, So Shenwan organized a huge, successful party, and for this party, Shenwan even got into the kitchen himself and made his most famous dish, which was barbecue pork. Now let me backtrack a bit for those of you that don't know your Mandarin. Our emperor Zhu Yuanzhang, his family name is Zhu, Ju. That means pig.
Oh.
When the emperor's last name is pig, you do not want to even mention pig. You do not want to kill pig. You do not want to eat pig. Okay? Now, Shen Wansan was so secure in that this is a party in his honor, and he just did so much for the country. He totally forgot that serving barbecue pork might be a really bad idea at this party. So during the party, the emperor called Shen Wansan to his side, and he pointed at the plate of barbecue pork in front of him. And he said, "You, I heard that this is you made this yourself. It's so good. It's like the like better than any meat I've ever had. What is it?"
Mm.
Shen Wansan, without thinking, "Oh, your highness, it's barbecue pork."
Oi.
Right away, the emperor changed his facial expression, got mad, and he glared at Shen Wansan like, "You know my family name is Pig. You served me pork. You just made me into a cannibal." And just for that, Shen Wansan and his entire family were executed.
Oh.
And the legend have it that the money pot ended up in Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang's keep.
Of course.
So what happened to the money pot? Like, In the end, you would think that, well, if the money pot ended up with the emperor, then the emperor should become super rich, and the Ming Dynasty should last forever, right? Well, karma has its way of playing jokes on people. When the emperor took the uh, money pot, the magical clay pot, back to the palace, he called all his family into the back chamber, into the royal chamber. He said, I want to show you guys this magic. Okay? I got a magic pot. And this Shen Wan San, his magical money pot, is ours now. We are going to rule this country for like freaking ever. We are going to be so filthy rich. Okay? Let me show you. So he took his crown, put it inside the pot, and yes, the pot grew a whole pot of crowns. And because he's showing like he's growing like this, he's like putting his ring into the pot, he's putting his necklace and the jewels and gold and silver into the pot, and everyone wanted to crowd in closely to see what's going on. The emperor's dad, who was really, really old, was trying to get close enough to see exactly how does this work. Like, does it grow one thing at a time, or like the things just all magically appear at the same time? You know. So this old guy, the emperor's dad, was trying to push into the front of the group so he could get a closer look at what's going on inside the pot. Well, like I said, he's very old. His balance is really bad. So he fell into the pot.
Oh no.
Few minutes later, the entire palace was full of Emperor's dad. And there were so many of them, exact copies of them, running all over the place, arguing, fighting. I am the real dad. I am, no, you are the copy. I'm the original. No, I am the original. They were fighting and arguing and beating each other up, and just as it got really bad, one of them tripped again and broke the money pot.
Uh,
As the money pot broke, every single thing that it ever created, the money, the crown, the jewel, the gazillion emperor's dad, vanished, only leaving the original copy. And that is why the emperor, despite getting the money pot, did not get to enjoy it because it got broken. So all that work that he went to murder Shen Wansan and his family, he probably should have left them alone because they've been so wealthy they could have really do a lot more for the country. Now in real history, Shen Wansan did get executed by the emperor, just like in legend. Obviously, there's no money pot involved in real history, but in the real history, it went pretty much the same. The emperor borrowed money from Shen Wansan, and then when Shen Wansan wanted the money back, the emperor had him executed.
oh,
So, as you guys can see, sometimes being patriotic and trying to be nice to your emperor can really backfire in Chinese history. The legend of the money pot, the Shen Wansan's money growing pot, has been one of the favorite story for many, many Chinese children. There are many versions of the story, so uh, today you guys get to hear one of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll hopefully be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday. For now, 谢谢 and
再见。
再见. She didn't say it right, just 再见.